IOUs are sort of fundamentally like the way like traditional banking systems work. Dollar IOUs work like stablecoins. You had trusted issuers, often exchanges, who would back their IOUs with real dollars. Users could hold and transfer them instantly on chain. At the time, Bitcoin was really the only other, well, direct clones of it, like, Litecoin and basically there was Bitcoin and Bitcoin clones. And what we were thinking was like, even if you thought Bitcoin was going to take over the world, you had to have bridges. You had to have interoperability because the value wasn't there. And so we thought of these gateways as ways to anchor value on a blockchain to value in the real world. So it wasn't just sort of all speculative and all, it's basically the same idea. And that led us to things like real world asset issuance, compliance, and settlement, all of them now being used, to provide enterprise grade features on the XRP ledger.
I think that when you look at XRP Ledger and its history, you mentioned it being one of the only sort of early networks alongside Bitcoin in its infancy. I think over the years, XRP and XRPL has generated its fair share of controversy. I mean, going up to the court systems and this years long legal battle with the SEC. Before I move further, I just wanted to ask you, what's the biggest misconception with XRP Ledger that you'd love to set straight once and for all?
By far, the biggest misconception is that Ripple somehow controls the ledger. It's a public blockchain. Every node enforces every rule. The consensus model doesn't control the blockchain. It's got it. And that's true. We work on providing infrastructure updates. We work on, assisting people in the community, incentivizing and attracting developers, provide developer resources, grants, and an accelerator program. But we have no interest or desire in running the network. It doesn't help. We would love for everybody to trust us completely, but people having to trust us is all downside for us. And so there's no reason we would want to run or control the network. We wouldn't want to be able to censor transactions because then people could pressure us to censor transactions. And I think it's important to understand that, like, if that kind of control were ever exercised, like if there was someone who could censor Bitcoin transactions and they ever did, everybody would know about it immediately. Like, presumably the person whose transaction was censored would be mad. And they would have no incentive not to be public because the transaction would be, like, everyone would know anyway, right? Like, to make a Bitcoin transaction, the first thing you do is go secret door, like a back room. It can't be done. It can't work. If anyone had power and exercised it just once, that would be the end of it. It's like an inherently fair by design system.